What does Islam actually say about violence? Many people today hear about Islam and immediately think it promotes violence. But before making any judgment, we need to ask one simple question. What does the Qur'an actually say? And how did the Prophet Muhammad actually live it? Let's go step by step. 1. The value of human life. The Qur'an says, whoever kills a soul, it is as if he has killed all mankind. And whoever saves a life, it is as if he has saved all mankind. Qur'an 5:32. Example, during the time of the Prophet, taking a life was considered one of the gravest sins. He warned people strongly about anger and revenge killings, showing that human life is not something cheap or replaceable. Even helping one person survive, feeding them, or protecting them is considered a massive act in Islam. 2. Killing innocent people is strictly forbidden. The Qur'an says, do not kill the soul which Allah has made sacred, except by legal right. Qur'an 6:151. And do not take life except in justice. Qur'an 17:33. Hadith, the Prophet Muhammad said, whoever kills a person under protection will not smell the fragrance of paradise. Sahih Bukhari. Meaning, civilians, peaceful people, and non-combatants are fully protected. Example, even in conflict, Muslims were not allowed to harm women, children, or monks. This was clearly instructed by the Prophet. 3. War is only defensive. The Qur'an says, fight those who fight you, but do not transgress. Qur'an 2:190. Example, for years in Makkah, Muslims were persecuted but not allowed to fight back. Only later, when attacked and war became unavoidable, permission for defense was given. Even then, the Prophet set strict limits. No revenge, no killing civilians, no destruction of crops. Zawahir in Islam is controlled, not chaotic. But peaceful people must be treated with justice. The Qur'an says, Allah does not forbid you from being kind and just to those who do not fight you because of religion. Qur'an 68. This verse makes an important distinction. Islam does not treat all non-Muslims as enemies. Instead, it distinguishes between those who are peaceful and those who are aggressive. Example, during the time of Prophet Muhammad, different religious communities lived in Medina under agreements of peace and mutual protection. These communities were not forced to change their beliefs. They were not harmed because of their religion. They were treated with justice as long as they maintained peace. This shows that Islamic teaching is based on fairness, not hostility, and that peaceful coexistence is fully supported. 5. Freedom of belief without force. The Qur'an says, there is no compulsion in religion. Qur'an 2:256. This establishes a clear principle. Faith in Islam must always be a matter of free choice. Belief cannot be forced through pressure or coercion. Example, in the society established by the Prophet Muhammad in Medina, Jewish and Christian communities lived with full religious freedom. They were allowed to practice their faith openly. They were allowed to maintain their places of worship. They were not forced to accept Islam. The Prophet himself was only responsible for delivering the message. He was not given authority to force belief upon anyone, because belief is something that must come from conviction, not compulsion. 6. Protection of human dignity. The Qur'an says, we have honored the children of Adam. Qur'an 17:70. This verse establishes that every human being possesses dignity simply by being human, regardless of religion, race, or background. Example, the Prophet Muhammad emphasized this principle in many teachings. He said, the most beloved people to Allah are those who are most beneficial to others. Tirmidhi. He also taught that removing harm from people's path is an act of charity, that feeding the poor is rewarded, and that helping others is a form of worship. This demonstrates that Islam builds a moral system centered on mercy, service, and responsibility toward all human beings. It does not promote injustice or harm. End of part 2. From these teachings, a consistent message becomes clear. Islam commands justice. Islam protects innocent life. Islam supports freedom of belief. Islam promotes mercy and human dignity. If these principles are so clear in the scripture, then the real question is not what Islam teaches. The real question is why these teachings are often ignored or misrepresented in practice. That is what we will explore in the final part. From everything we have discussed through the Qur'an and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, one message becomes very consistent and very clear. Islam places a strong emphasis on justice, mercy, and the protection of human life. It commands that innocent people must never be harmed. It allows fighting only in situations of self-defense and under strict limits. It encourages kindness toward peaceful people and guarantees freedom of belief. It also teaches that every human being has dignity simply by being human. But despite this clarity, people sometimes still associate Islam with violence. So we need to ask an honest question. Is this confusion coming from the scripture itself or from how people behave? Because history shows a pattern that is not unique to Islam. Every major religion has been misused at some point in history. Christianity has been associated with wars such as the Crusades. Other traditions have also had conflicts, carried out by people who claim to act in their name. But in all these cases, the actions of people did not always reflect the original teachings of their scripture. The same applies here. In Islam, there is a clear difference between what the religion teaches and what some individuals or groups may do for political, economic, or personal reasons. Sometimes religion is used as a label, while the real motives are power, control, or conflict. This is why Islamic scholars across history have consistently emphasized that violence against innocent people is forbidden, that civilians cannot be targeted, and that injustice is never acceptable, no matter the situation. So when we evaluate any religion, the fair approach is to look at its authentic teachings, not the actions of those who misrepresent it. And when we do that with Islam, the message is not one of chaos or destruction. It is a message of responsibility, justice, and mercy. Closing line. Islam is not defined by extremists. It is defined by its principles. And its principles are clear. Protect life, uphold justice, spread mercy, respect human dignity,